So you're thinking about moving to Queen Anne, Seattle, Washington, the Pacific Northwest, and then what's up everybody? This is Justin Gazabat. See, now we're doing it, and I would probably just leave that whole thing in, zippity zip zoodot. Today, we are gonna talk about Lower Queen Anne. So Queen Anne is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Seattle, and it's super known for tree-lined streets, beautiful Victorian era Queen Anne mansions and homes. That's where it gets its name, right? It's got these beautiful, four squares, the original box house, and then we move into, Craftsman's and Dutch Colonials and all these super cool houses, right? So that's Queen Anne proper, right around where Queen Anne High School is, all that cool stuff, right? So today we're gonna talk about Lower Queen Anne. And Lower Queen Anne is kind of at the end of Mercer Street as Mercer runs east to west, cuts through South Lake Union, but kind of winds up, you end up in Lower Queen Anne. It's where the Coliseum is, and if you're not familiar with the Coliseum, it's where the Sonics used to play, then they called it Key Arena, and now they call it Climate Pledge Arena, and it is where the Kraken play. So let's talk about living in Lower Queen Anne. It is full of older apartment buildings, older 1930s buildings. There's not a lot of, houses. There's some townhouses, but there's mostly condo buildings, these old apartment buildings. And I'm trying to remember if there's a co-op in Queen Anne. I don't think there is. I think they're over, the ones I know over in Ravenna. Somebody can tear me apart in the comments about that and let me know that I'm wrong about that. But I don't think there's a co-op there. We don't have many co-ops in Seattle. But these 1930s buildings, and Queen Anne is on a slope. So as you're coming down the hill, you're looking for parking around these old buildings that don't have parking. They're built in the 30s. It's not everybody had cars back then. It's just a different design and appeal. But there's some beautiful old hotels there, really great bars and restaurants. And when you get down onto Queen Anne Avenue in what used to be called Uptown, where the Uptown Theater is, and still on the map, Google's gonna tell you it's Uptown. It's Lower Queen Anne, it's Lower Queen Anne. And that's kind of the overall, vibe down there. There's some great, great shops and restaurants and stuff. The fancy Dick's is down there, Dick's Drive-In, local favorite. That's the only one that you can sit down inside. For some reason it's supposed to be Dick's Drive-In, but it's definitely like you go in and sit down. And then you're right there by the Coliseum. So a lot of folks, if you go to a concert, you might work your way up to Dick's from the Coliseum after a show, that kind of thing. You're also super close to Seattle Space Needle and the Pacific Science Center right there. EMP, which is now called MOPOP, the Experience Music Project, is now the Museum of Pop Culture. That's a really interesting building to see from an aerial. People say it was designed to look like when Jimi Hendrix set his guitar on fire. Lower Queen Anne gives you access to McCall Hall, to Benaroya Hall, to the Chihuly. So if you're living in that is like some prime time Seattle stuff. The Storm, you can see at the Coliseum. You can go see, basketball there. You can see concerts there. You can go see hockey there.
Or at Benaroya, you can see the ballet.
Yeah, and Benaroya Hall has, beautiful, wonderful symphony and ballet and all this stuff right there. Very cool. The Nutcracker is dope. Like every year that comes out, that's a big fundraiser for Pacific Ballet. At the Seattle Center, we just had the Bite of Seattle. You have what's the burnout, the one that's full of burnouts? Hemp Fest, is it Hemp Fest? Yeah, that's it. So there you go. You can light me up in the comments. Full of burnouts. A bunch of tie-dyed hippie, whatever. If you don't get the straight-laced humor, it's going to be challenging to work together. Maybe, I don't know. It's fine. Let's say you're not into concerts. You're not into going to the ballet or the museums or any of that stuff. Queen Anne, Lower Queen Anne is still an awesome place to live because of the access to downtown and the access to the waterfront park. Really good access to that. Really good access to South Lake Union if you're one of those people that wants to get into downtown. It's really quick and easy to get down into Westlake, and then you jump on the light rail at Westlake and you can go to the airport, or you can go to Pioneer Square, get yourself to South Downtown, go see the Mariners, go see the Sounders, go see the Seahawks, whoever you're rooting for down there. and you have easy access to that. So geographically, Lower Queen Anne is one of the all-time neighborhoods with access to everything that you can think of that is Seattle, except kind of Capitol Hill. It's a little bit of a pain to, without a car, to take transit over to Capitol Hill. Just a skosh, right? Because it really sets you up for north to south, and Capitol Hill, you gotta go up the hill to the east. That kind of gives you a rough overview of what's there, why you should be there. Super, super friendly to live there without a car. You're gonna be on transit, on buses, and then once you get to, I think the closest station for light rail is the Westlake station in close to South Lake Union, but Westlake. I like that neighborhood. It's your chances are, if you're gonna live there, you're not gonna really have a yard. You're gonna utilize the different parks around you, like Cary Park. The reason I bring that up, we talked a little bit about parking, and so there's not a lot of, some of the newer construction apartment buildings are gonna have great parking. Some of the older apartment buildings are not gonna have great parking. You're gonna have street parking. Now, the condo buildings, you may or may not get parking. You definitely wanna check, right? So we're talking about Lower Queen Anne. We're right next to the Coliseum, and I'm sticking by calling it the Coliseum. I don't like Key Arena, whatever, Climate Pledge, or what a terrible name. So I think I've said this like 3 times in this one video, the Coliseum. Here's the deal. All throughout the summer, there's something going on at Seattle Center. Super cool if you live in Queen Anne, Lower Queen Anne, and you want to walk to that event. Awesome. Real bummer if you're trying to go anywhere else. Now, Taylor Swift, when she was here, she played at Lumen Field down in South Downtown, not the Coliseum. But if she had played at the Coliseum, some Seafair event was happening. There was also the Bite of Seattle, and there was a couple of games. I think maybe she didn't play there because there's games. But what I'm trying to get at is they block off streets when there's big events. When there's big events in town, these parks, Seattle Center, the Coliseum, like they're right in the neighborhood. So it can be very, very distracting and difficult to get in and out of the neighborhood when there are those events. So just think about that the lifestyle choice that you're looking to make. If you want a yard and a nice home, beautiful home, Queen Anne proper has that for you. But that comes at a price and in a big range. I think one of the videos we talked about from 800 to, I think one of the listings up there right now is around 7 million, something like that. So you can find in that range. In Lower Queen Anne, again, you're gonna find a lot of condos and apartment buildings, that kind of things. Different price point, different lifestyle, more density, in a different way than Capitol Hill, much more posh and clean and tidy, my opinion, than Capitol Hill. Easy walking, great commuting without a car into downtown, and reasonable access to light rail. And then just be aware when they set events up, when the Coliseum's going off, when Seattle Center has stuff. It is difficult to get in and out, but you have access to all the cool stuff. Go see an opera, go see a ballet, listen to the symphony, go to the Chihuly Museum, get the wine special. The wine special at the Space Needle is almost the same cost as just going up the Space Needle. Plus, if you do the wine special, the wine taster, I've said this in another video, you'll get your parking validated if you drive there, right? If you just go up and pay to go up in the Space Needle, it's like $10 difference or something, and they don't validate parking. So the wine taster is super worth it. Obviously you want to book in advance, that kind of thing, but go do those things. That's why you're in Seattle. That's why you're there. Bring your friends, bring your family, show them all the cool stuff. You can really just tour up Seattle and show people an amazing time with all the cool things that Seattle has to offer. You don't even really need to leave Lower Queen Anne. So hope you found that video helpful. We're helping people make the move all the time. If I didn't say it in the beginning, let me say it now. Like, subscribe. Tap that notification bell so you see the videos that we come out with, and reach out. My team and I, we're local real estate agents here in Seattle, and we want to do a really good job for you and help you find a home if you're really relocating to Seattle that fits your lifestyle and what you're really looking for and hoping to get out. So reach out to us. All the contact information is below, and we'll see you in the next video. Talk to you.